Still of an overcast afternoon here in the Philippines. I'm sitting on the curb opposite what looks like 4 more home units. I call them home units because they are standalone houses, but they're so close together they virtually have nothing but maybe a little walkway around each of the houses when they're finished. But I did a video a while ago about the 2 new homes that were being built next door. They're now fully occupied and got either tenants or buyers in the home. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. It's another one of those deep thoughts, maybe, for some of you. Many of you, I'm sure, understand that all's fair in love and war. And many of us, of course, have come from overseas have watched these videos. Some, of course, are Filipina and Filipino. And I'm sure they watch them with an element of trying to understand the psyche of us foreigners, like we do, trying to understand them. And we basically will both have difficulty regardless, because we just weren't born into the cycle that either they were or that we were. And there lies the conundrum, really. There are so many homes that are being built here in the Philippines for loving couples, people with dreams, desires, and I say dreams of building their first home maybe in their whole life, having the resources finally to be able to afford to build a home that they called almost like the house that Jack built. But it also represents a start in a relationship, a start in the sense that you're showing the other person your intent. And of course, here comes another problem, and that is that many of you talk about scammers everywhere in the world, thieves, vagabonds, but scammers, meaning, I suppose, that the unwilling and the unwary is easily parted with his money, or as they say, a fool and his money is easily parted. But one thing to remember is that are we really scammed, or are we just allowing ourselves to be, in a sense, taken for a ride by those that are unsuspecting? After all, I'm sure you remember your ex taking half your home, half your business, and half the assets of the family, and moving on to better things maybe with the next one. And that's how some people in the UK and Australia and New Zealand and Europe step up the ladder too. They, in a way, decide that life is a bit boring. It's not so exciting as it might have been earlier on in the relationship. And when they draw a line under it and say, right, well, I want a divorce, darling, that's the end result of many years of working together, sharing dreams, and also hoping that it all works out. And for some, a few, it does work out. And I think that's what we need to focus on today. We can always say that all Filipinos are scammers. No, they're not. There are a lot of the Filipinas that you choose that I would say fall into a category of wishing, hoping, and then discovering how easy it is to acquire that wealth so quickly. Yes, you just gave it to them. Did they plan it? Some may have done it, but I believe that many just realise that maybe life with a foreigner isn't as easy as they thought. The language barrier, the misunderstanding over tiny little things that both of you will admit don't represent the reason to break up. But if you add all those on a daily basis up over the months and years that you're together, I suppose eventually they become weary and think, is it really worth it? And of course you, being a foreigner, will just go along with the flow and think, well, I can adapt, I can put up with it. But maybe they can't. Maybe that's the reason why they move on. Some of them realize that you've helped them set up a popular YouTube channel. They realize that the extra 2, 3, 5, 10,000 pesos a month coming in income, it's almost like you've supplied them with the opportunity to have a ready-made pension. And as long as they stay young, stay beautiful, and talk about all the sexy things that other foreigners want to hear, there'll be no shortage of viewers, especially if you lean down on the camera and show your tits. Sorry girls, that's what it's all about. We are attracted to those things. After all, they are what fed us when we were young. So maybe it's deep down inside us that we can't help but look at them. But I don't want to sound vulgar. It's just a reality that many things attract us to women, apart from the centuries, millennium of a period of time, the opposite sex. Of course, in the Philippines, you can have a bit of everything here. You've got all kinds. Left, right, centre, up, down, straight. And why not? That's what they say. What is it? Variety is the spice of life. But back to what I'm talking about is that we should be less critical of, in general, that Filipinas are scammers. They're no less scammers than anybody else is in the world. I'm sure that many of you have gone back after a period of time and discovered, like I did when I went back to England, my goodness, the amount of scamming that goes on there. Loves broken, women losing their homes because they mortgaged to send some Nigerian scammer money because he told her that he was wanting to be beside her every moment of the day. But it just never quite happened. Needed money for hospital bills, had a dreadful car accident yesterday. And of course, she blindly was prepared to sell the car, mortgage the house, on the off chance that when he did arrive that he would be able to pay that mortgage back and be able to live a happy and romantic life together. Where's the difference between that and what we find here in the Philippines? I don't really see any difference in the parallel. We come here, we are attracted to beautiful women. We desire them, we want them to be a part of our lives, on our arm, so to speak, for others to admire. But for some, they're content to have a middle of the range of version and maybe not be so likely to end up in hot water. And I suppose it's those that maybe watch the videos and wonder why are the expats so obsessed with all these young ladies. Why are they complaining when they get taken to the cleaners? Well, that's the age-old story. A fool and his money is easily parted. That's my thought for the day. I hope you have a lovely one. Bye now.